Good day everyone, this is Patrick from EasyFX Code Trading System, and it's Saturday 31st of July 2021, and this is the weekly technical analysis for the Euro, the cable, and the Aussie Dollar for the first week of August. And as you can see across these three major pairs, they had a strong week, except for the Aussie Dollar, which was consolidating against the US dollar, as the US dollar basically weakened and tanked after the FOMC meeting and statements. So the majors gain against that. Let's begin with the euro dollar. And the euro managed to hang on and stayed above the trend line, fairly long-term trend line here from the end of October, early November of last year, and it's been hanging on for a few days and managed to climb back up above it from the 118 level back up to 119. That's key resistance there, with along with the daily 255 coming down. So this zone here is proven to be key support zone. That was also where the last week's weekly pivot was as well. So it managed to climb above that and ended up the month still below the monthly pivot, but managed to recover somewhat. So next week there'll be a new monthly pivot and of course a new weekly pivot, and which will be slightly lower as well. So but this whole month looks like it has been consolidating pretty much within about the 100 to 130 pip zone. So support is at around 117.50, just around above 117.50. So let's just draw this trend line here for support. Let's just call this 50. So next week we'll see if it's able to continue higher above 119, but it needs to break above these two daily EMAs at 255, and also it's got to clear all these wicks where there's been some sell-off before. So this will also be fairly critical resistance levels. Highest at 119.75. Daily 200 is at 119.15. So I think I'll move this up to this zone. This will be a key resistance here around the 119.20 area. Right, the fib was low from this year and the highs of this year, and it's didn't fall back to the 38 fib, and it's still in between the 21 and the 38 fib retracement levels. So let's also just add a short-term one here from the recent highs to this swing low here. Let's also move this to most recent high. And yeah, so if it does break above the daily 200, that's where the wicks are at the 38 fib retracement around 119.48. So yeah, around 119.50. So that will be the next clear target if it does break above this zone. And the 118 along with this trend line is a key support level. All right, this coming week, there's only minor news from the Eurozone with the final manufacturing and services PMIs. That's the same for the UK as well. So, and we'll have to see how the US dollar reacts next week, and to see whether it's able to recover or consolidate, which could mean that this could also consolidate. Euro could also consolidate in this range. So, so if it does break out, this will be a key target, and support is going to be at the 118. All right, let's also take a look at US dollar, DXY, US dollar index, and see how it fell lower. In fact, from the start of the week, it started to dip lower below this swing high, and this support was broken. And then on the Wednesday, that's where it fell hard and broke below this lower channel trend line and fell all the way back to the daily 55 EMA and the 38 fib retracement of this swing move. So right into this support zone here. So it was unable to continue up towards this, to retest this swing high. So next week, we'll see if this support will hold, and whether it's just going to consolidate between the 21 and 38 fib retracement. If it does dip lower, then it could target this previous swing high here, which was a key zone as well. So along with the 50 fib retracement at 91.30. Okay, so this is now resistance. So we can remove this shorter trend line here. And likely just identify this as another key support zone. All right, let's just take a look at the weekly time frame. Yeah, so that was the bearish candle here, engulfing and breaking the lower trend line of the channel. So it could consolidate before dipping lower. And we'll see whether it's next week or the following week where it could weaken further. And also the non-farm payroll report is coming up, is coming Friday, so that will be a key driver as well to see whether the US dollar is going to weaken further or manage to recover. Okay, let's move back to the euro and also just take a quick look at the weekly time frame. It's managed to climb back up, and it could continue and eke out a bit more bullish momentum before pausing and consolidating. So we'll see whether this is going to be the critical area, and let's also include one more. One at 38 fib. Okay, let's move on to the cable. And the cable had a very strong week with 4 bullish days and then a pullback on the Friday after almost hitting the 140. It tested the swing highs of June and pull back and retrace back into 139 and the daily 55 EMA and close right at 139. So this is now interim support. It was resistance and now support at the 139. We'll see whether this holds. And this started from the Monday, breaking through the 138 and the trend line where it fell from before, climb back above that. So this is now support as well. This will be a key support zone. 138 and pause at the daily 55 EMA until the Wednesday's FOMC meeting and decision and statement where basically there was no change and Federal Reserve was waiting to take a look at more data on employment before talks start on tapering. So initially US dollar gained, but then during the Q&A it fell hard and it benefited the major pairs and it broke through on Wednesday, late Wednesday night, right crossing the daily 55 EMA and then continued on Thursday. On the weekly time frame, it's also a bullish close, but with an upper wick here. So we'll see if it will dip a bit lower and consolidate for next week before attempting to build up momentum to attack the 140 again, and perhaps waiting for the non-farm payroll news as well. And similar to the Eurozone, the UK also has the final manufacturing and services PMIs on the Monday and Wednesday, but I didn't show it here. All right. So, but definitely 1.4 is going to be a strong resistance to watch for. If it does come up to test it again. So it tested before and failed. That was towards the end of June, after the June FOMC meeting that drove it down. Okay. We could also, the current fib is longer term one also from the end of December to the highs of this year. And actually it spiked through here. So we could also draw another fib of the recent high in the beginning of June to the current low for July, and it was crossed the 50% retracement and was attempting to get to the 62 fib area. So this is going to be the very critical resistance zone. This is also now the intermediate support zone. All right. So it did climb back up to the month's pivot, and we'll see what the new pivot is going to be for next week and next month. Probably slightly lower. Weekly pivot was very low for last week. Okay, let's move on to the Aussie dollar. And this week there's major news from the RBA. There's their rate decision for their meeting, followed by retail sales figures. And for this week though, the Aussie dollar was basically constrained in a fairly tight range, could not break above the 74 area, and which is the 138 fib extension of this reversal move, which where it hit the 162. So support is still there. Did not test the support. It come close to the 162 again, but attempted to break out higher, but was basically constrained here. And then the week close on the Friday back to the weekly pivot. So not much movement for Aussie dollar last week. And basically the whole range for the week was only about 90 pips. So this week we'll see whether it's able to break out higher, and likely is waiting for the Tuesday's meeting and statement. Okay. So if it does break out higher, then it will attempt to target the 0.75 round figure, along with the 255 coming down. But if it breaks down, it's going to be very weak for the Aussie dollar. Let's see where the next extension is going to be, and that's way below, just below the 0.72 round figure. So it's critical that the Aussie dollar stays above this 0.73 and could be in a rising, slightly rising wedge here. Needs to stay above this lower trend line. All right. Okay, so another critical week coming up for the US dollar. Last week proved to be quite important with the FOMC, and they're basically looking out for at least 2 more data points on employment figures. So this coming non-farm payroll report, it will be a critical one. Right, so we'll see what happens with the US dollar and in relation with all these major pairs and spot gold as well. So do check out my other video on spot gold and dollar yen. Have a safe week and a good trading week, and cheers for now.